Hey guys, welcome to another news breakdown here on Go Mango. Alright, as always, I'm your host, Frozen Stratos, and today, it's Saber time! We got Kamen Rider Saber! He's here! Look at that! So this is coming out of, actually, this sort of got leaked, I guess, from jhero.com, so special thanks to them. I believe they're an Indonesian news site, and they got the magazine early, and hey, check it out, there's Soto Hopping Kangaroo. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Let's talk about Kamen Rider Saber and, like, sort of catch up on everything we've missed so far. So first off, this dude looks very much like Double. And we can also see some other things. Like, the secondary rider's face is completely covered by a dude's thumb. Great, thanks, love that for you. But we also get to see some other forms. It does look like the form swaps are going to be affecting the head in such a way, like the top of the head, like that forehead, that might swap out for something else. The right and left cheeks, those are going to be swapping out for something else. But that is yet to be seen. Let's get a closer look at these guys, because the Saber coming out of the head, that sort of changes on that top looking guy. But once again, we don't know too much, at least from this view. Let's take a look at the back of this book, and we have the driver. This is actually called the Seiken Sword Driver, because, you know, you could just use the D for the sword to drive, but whatever, man. We can take a look at sort of the functionality of this thing. And there were rumors earlier about how this thing sort of worked out, because there are 3 slots, a right, middle, left, and those indicate special things. The thing is, you load in one of the items, which is basically like a book, and then they like sort of flop open. So that's neat. Then we get to the driver itself. It is a sheath. And from what we know from the leaks, like the leaked toy listings, this is going to be used for the first, second, and third rider. So far, it's rumored and pretty heavily hinted at that there are 7 riders this year, at least to start out with. Another interesting thing is that when the logo dropped, if you can see on the far right, like at the tip of the sword, there's a little bit of, you know, symbols there, and people have deciphered it, and it actually says Kamen Rider Saber in, you know, just I guess different symbols. They replaced symbols of English for whatever they came up with. And the driver itself does have the sort of symbols to it, and I went through and I tried to figure out what it was trying to say. The best I got out of it was Seiken wo Hikinuke. I cannot speak Japanese, so that was bad. But I asked Twitter, and 2 people were quite helpful. I want to shout them out here. Drive Chaser and let's see, Overrise, usermook. The links to these will be in the description down below. Usermook had found that when it was translated, they had gotten draw a story. Now, his translation, he admits, is a bit weaker, or they, I'm not 100% sure. But then Drive Chaser also pointed out that they got a translation saying pull out the holy sword. So in any case, it means draw. There's something. This is just me figuring out Japanese. But at the end of it, you know, either the holy sword or a story. Either one works, because there is a sword hanging out here, and then also there are storybooks. So either way, I'm not quite sure. There are also tons of little lettering, like, within the driver itself, but it's really hard to tell. So if you guys want to figure all that out, feel free. You've got, I mean, the world is your oyster. Please go ahead and do that. But hey, that's not all we can glean from this image. Let's take a look at the bottom, the lower area, where we have Peter Fantasia. We'll get to that in a bit. But then we also have the promotional item with 01. He is getting his own book. This is I guess, like the, you know, the Rider crossover gimmick item. So that's neat. That's cool. It's gonna be pretty hard to get, so if you can get your hands on one, try now. It's probably gonna be hard. So, I don't know. I think I just said that twice. That wasn't helpful. But yeah, the Peter Fantasia stuff. Each book, each new book, it's going to be based off of, you know, various characters, and they'll be able to open up, and like I said, they have specific slots in the driver. And we'll get to the importance of this guy in a bit. Let's just also break down this image here. So we got these leaked catalog listings, and the driver actually helps us sort of see what's going on with these, so it's very much helpful here. The first item, I'm going, you know, from left to right, because like that right side, all that stuff is like Legend Rider stuff and some power-up items for the first and secondary rider. That's not too important. But what is important is the stuff on the left, which pertains to this show. And it has prices. So, the first thing at the top of this, the item, or at least the driver for the first, second, and third rider, that's going to be this item here. It is a different price than was listed in that initial listing, so I'm not quite sure why. It might be tax, I don't know. So yeah, that is the, you know, the standard Henshin belt, and it's going to be coming with the dragon and fire crest, and we'll get to crests later because I think that's separate from the actual books, because the dragon book actually makes the rider, and oh hey, there's a little picture of the rider in there, so yeah, whatever. Next up we have the same item, except for Thumbelina over here. It has some of his items as well. It says it has the lion and water crest, so like it'll come with the lion book as well, and then the water crest on top of that. Like I said, we'll get there. And then after that, playing the role of this new Henshin item that we're going to be talking about, the Henshin Ken, is the Slash Riser. So they're going to have another driver that's called the Henshin Sword. At least in the listings, we don't know if that's going to be its name going forward. But there are actually 3 releases of this, the first of which comes with a book for the Genbu, and the Genbu is the black tortoise in Asian culture. It symbolizes the north and the winter, so it might be like an ice-themed character with this guy. So that's neat. So that's rider number 4. Rider number 5, however, he is going to be coming with Sarutobi Sasuke, who is a ninja in Japanese folklore and whatever. I don't want to diminish their the stories of this guy, but he is from Japanese folklore. He's a ninja, and he was raised by monkeys, and he's known to be really fast. So this might be a really fast rider. Okay, on to rider number 6. And rider number 6 is his Henshin, like his book is Hansel. Sorry. It's just Hansel and not Hansel and Gretel. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, but you know, it's here, man. Alright, cool. Moving on. The next item is actually an evil version of the driver. This is said to come with the Zaku dragon. I think it's just the dark dragon. And then there's also a different version of this driver coming out for actually a significant amount more, with a power-up item called the Zao, that's mixing Zaku evil plus King, so evil King, whatever. I don't know. Man, it's just gonna be a power-up item for this dude. There's even more stuff that I did not decide to make images for. Like there's going to be a roleplay sequence dragon and lion weapon, and I For the life of me, I don't know what sort of image to make for that, so I'm just gonna tell you that it exists, and you can buy it eventually. That one should probably be around 3,500 yen, hopefully. But yeah, the next item on the list is where we're gonna start digging into what crests are. So if you notice on the driver, or on the sword of the driver itself, they have these little sort of buttons. I think those are crests, and those indicate which rider's which, and then each of the books are just power-ups onto that rider. So this next item, it's called the Lion Item plus Water Crest set. So I believe that if you just buy the regular belt, you can get the Lion Item and the Water Crest set. There's also going to be the Aladdin Item and Thunder Crest set. So we didn't get anything to pay lip service to the third rider in the other listings, so this might be what the third rider wields. And then, so the lion item that I was talking about before, that lion is supposed to go in the middle, so that might be changing the middle of his head. And then the Aladdin item, that changes the right side of the guy. So like I was saying, you'd be able to switch the forehead and the two cheeks, and I assume a similar situation sort of happens on the chest and the rest of the dude. But yeah, and then the dragon, initially, that one plugs into the right side. I don't know if that information is helpful to you. Then there's a holder set plus the evil power-up item. So if you wanted to get just the evil belt and then the power-up item separately for some reason, you can do that. It's gonna cost you, I believe it's like, yeah, 2,800 yen. So whatever. And then for the 5th and 6th rider, there's going to be the Kyotsu Kani belt and Kobuta item. And the Kyotsu Kani, that stands for common simplicity, and Kobuta, that's the 3 little pigs. So it is going to come with a little book for you. And then another item that we saw from this listing was the Peter Pan. They had listed it as Peter Pan, but I guess now it's Peter Fantasia. This is listed as a water item, and what we saw before with the dragon, that one was a fire item. So these seem to be color coded anyway, like Peter Fantasia. Gonna be blue, dragon gonna be red. So color coordination, that's fun. It's a good time. And then just a whole host of other ones. You got the Hari Nezumi, which is the hedgehog thunder middle, so that's probably going to be a yellow one. Washi item, fire right eagle. Pegasus item, water right. Sayuki item, which is journey to the west or something, fire left. And then the Cerberus item, thunder right. So those all click in different places, and it really looks like it's mainly servicing the first 3 riders, the fire, the thunder, the water. So yeah, anyway, that's basically all we have. That's it. Oh, sorry, my bed's a mess. I just actually woke up. I went to bed, and then I was like, man, I should check Twitter. Oh no, it's time for video now. And that's what this was. That's what this is, and you're here at the end. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. I will be covering as much of the news as possible. And hey, let me know what your favorite stuff is that you saw here today. Were the visuals helpful? Was I confusing it all? Should I tell you more about it in the comments? Let me know if you need help understanding this, because I'm still trying to figure it out too. Also, don't forget, do not forget, there are still links in the description down below to how you can help support the Black Lives Matter movement. So go on in there, sign petitions, donate money, whatever you do, as long as you do it, it absolutely helps. Oh, also, there are news links in there as well, just to help you out. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep it juicy.